So Wellshire is a different part of Denver altogether. Now, instead of being on the western side of town, we're totally different part of Denver in that area that's just south of Cherry Creek in kind of southeast Denver. And Wellshire is an area that I honestly did not know much about at all until I had some clients that I helped buy an investment property for last year. Wellshire is actually a pretty small neighborhood when it comes to population. I think it's only about 2,500 residents, but it is truly one of the most unique areas, especially just for where it's located. So if I, maybe caught you when I said the word Cherry Creek, this is an area that is very affluent, and it's also typically areas that have a lot of mixed use where you're gonna find, a blend of, a lot of different stuff going on. What's so cool about Wellshire is it really does have a completely different feel than almost anywhere else in the area. And it feels a lot more like a suburb that's kind of trapped in just within a much more urban part of Denver. And Wellshire is definitely a little bit higher end homes on average. The median sales price this past year was, I think it was about 1.3 million. However, there's definitely homes in Wellshire that you can pick up for 700,000 to 800,000. My clients that I help, they actually, we spent a ton of time looking all over Denver. We also leaned on a resource from 5280 magazine, which is the top 25 neighborhoods. They put it out every year, and Wellshire kind of kept piquing my clients' interests because they kept seeing it in the top 10, and it had really high rankings according to schools, crime, some of those types of factors. So we spent some time kind of digging a little bit further into Wellshire and ended up realizing after just a few quick visits over there, just driving through some of these streets, that this really was a diamond in the rough when it came to that blend of a suburban type environment, but surrounded by a lot of accessibility to some of the other great urban areas in Denver, like Cherry Creek Mall. Colorado Blvd is really close to here, so you have a ton of other shopping available right off of Colorado Blvd. And you are still in a part of Denver where you have a lot of convenience when it comes to getting to downtown Denver, only about a 15-minute drive, but also you can get further down south quite easily if you're trying to get down to the Denver Tech Center. Maybe you work and have to commute to downtown Denver or Denver Tech Center. Wellshire is kind of this nicely positioned location between the two. And I think a very, very strong investment when it comes to real estate values today and where I see them going into the future. One last little locals tip I'll share with you guys before we finish up this video. In Wellshire, it also has one of the highest rated elementary schools in the entire state. It's called Slavens Elementary. I'll let you guys do your own research as far as the ratings of the school. If you guys have never looked at niche.com, that's a great resource to check out where they rate a lot of these types of things. But definitely look into Slavens Elementary if you do have young kiddos and you're trying to find neighborhoods that might have a good school district for you guys to consider as part of your home search process.